Lesson 511 deals with what's called equivalent fractions, and equivalent means the same. So if I give you the fraction 1/2, the question is, what fractions are the same as 1/2? Well, I know that 2/4 is the same as 1/2. I know that 5/10 is the same as 1/2. 10/20 is the same as 1/2. 3/6 is the same as 1/2. 4/8 is the same as 1/2. And basically what that means is that all of these fractions are the same. So let's look and let's make a drawing here. Okay. So this is 1/2 right here. And we'll label it. Let's color in. This is 1/2. Now, let's look at another shape, and we'll draw this exactly, well, as close to exactly the same as we can. But this one, instead of cutting into halves, we're going to cut into fourths. Okay? And once again, we're going to color in, this time we're going to color in 2/4. So this is 2/4. But 2/4 is the same as 1/2. Because what we did, ladies and gentlemen, is we took 1/2 and we multiplied it by 2/2. And when we do that, we get 2/4. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to point out, and this is important to see. Oops, I didn't want my eraser there. That's still a 2, and that's still a 2 here. All I did is I multiplied it by the value of 1. And whenever you multiply a number by 1, you know that a number times 1 is going to equal the number. And that's the identity property of multiplication. And with this fraction, boys and girls, all we've done is multiplied it by 1. Let's look at another example here. Cut it in half. Okay. Now this one we're going to cut into. Now we've cut this one into 6. Okay. And we're going to color in 3/6 because this is what we have. And now that's 3/6. Now 3/6, boys and girls, is equal to 1/2. Now how did we do it? Well, we took 1/2 and we multiplied that by, well, what did we multiply by? What did we multiply 2 to get to 6? Well, we multiplied it by 3/3. Now, one thing to remember, boys and girls, is all we're doing, again, is multiplying by 1. And if I multiply a number by 1, I really essentially don't change it. I change the way the number looks. Because when I go to what this is equal to now, it's equal to 3. Oh, what is wrong with my... It's equal to 3/6. I'm sorry, that's not writing right there. So all I've done is multiplied it by 1. Let's look at one more example here. I think my iPad might be dying or something. I might be starting to get dead spots or something on my screen. Now this one we'll break into now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and let's take 5 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one we have 5/10. It is, let's put it over here, 5/10 for some reason. Now, how is 5/10 the same as 1/2? Well, if we look at it visually, boys and girls, we see that 5/10 is the same as 1/2. Okay? The question is, let's move this up and let's move this up a little bit. So, how can we figure out whether or not 5/10 is the same as 1/2? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 5/10 and we're going to divide it by something to see if we get to 1/2. So the question is, what do we do to 10 to get to 2? Now, the important thing, boys and girls, is when working with fractions and when we change the denominator, we have to either multiply or divide. With here, to get from 2 to 4, we multiplied by 2. To get from 2 to 6, we multiplied by 3. Now, to get from 10 to 2, we're going to divide by something. And what are we going to divide by? Well, 10 divided by 5 is going to give me 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 5 divided by 5 will give me 1. Now, boys and girls, what we created here, we created an equivalent, okay? We created equivalent fractions up here. These are equivalent. Equivalent fractions here. And down here, we simplified. We simplified our fractions. And the two different actions. One is an increase, but they're the same value. And the second one is a decrease, but again, it's the same value. Now, don't worry, video 2, or video 3, I guess, is going to be dealing with much of the same.